Today I'll be showing you how to crochet the cute little soap holder pouch that I have as a free pattern on my blog. To make this an easy tutorial process for yourself, I'd highly recommend going onto my blog page, which will be in the description box below, to get the written pattern and follow along that way. Just to start, you will be using cotton yarn. I recommend cotton yarn for this project, and I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream 100% cotton yarn in 3 different colors. It'll mostly be in the main color, which is light pink, a contrast color, the darker pink, and the little string to cinch my baggie together will be in white. So you can feel free to use whichever type of yarn, but make sure you get a hook size that goes along with the weight of yarn that you use. So for example, I'm using medium weight yarn, and I'll be using a 6mm hook to go along with that. If you use thinner yarn, go with a smaller hook, and thicker yarn, go with a larger hook. You'll also be needing a pair of scissors. Alright. So to start with my free pattern, we start off with a magic ring. So I'm going to curl that around my finger here. In the magic ring, what you're going to do is chain 3. So I'm going to show 1, 2, and 3 chains like that. And that's going to be the first double crochet, or that's going to count as the first double crochet in your round. Next, insert 11 double crochets in the ring, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and last one here, 11. Now that you've done that, you're going to join the round by first closing up your magic ring, pulling on that tail, and join with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that you made. So I'm pulling that out a bit here. You can see that's 1, 2, 3 chains. The third chain's on the very top here. I'm going to insert my hook and make a slip stitch here. So that joins my round. It's a nice little circle. Alright, so following along the pattern for round 2, you're going to start with a chain 3. Again, that counts as the first double crochet in the round. And then you're going to put a double crochet in that same stitch. Don't go anywhere, stay in that same stitch. And then you're going to put double crochet increases all the way around. So for each stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Here's my double crochet increase. That's 1 and 2 double crochets. In the next stitch, an increase. That's 1 and 2 double crochets. And you do that all the way around. So now that you've done that, you're going to join the second round with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. there's my slip stitch. So we've just made our circle bigger, and we're going to make it bigger for yet another round. For round 3, start with, oh, I'm sorry, actually, excuse me, looking back at my pattern, we're going to stop there. We're going to now bring in our main color for our soap pouch, and my main color is this light pink here. I'm going to join the new color now. So let me back up a little bit. So for that slip stitch, I'm going to pull out, instead of with the dark pink, I'm going to pull out with my new color, which is the light pink. And what I like to do when I change colors is I tie the two different colors together. And I'll cut the old yarn off. So I'm no longer using the dark pink. I'm just going to cut it off here. Alright, so with this new color, I'll show you how to weave in the ends here too without actually sewing. You can just crochet them in. So now you're going to chain 4 to start row 3. So chain, that's 3 and 4. Now double crochet in this very same stitch. And when you double crochet, take the yarn ends and hide them in that in the middle. So you see here that they're kind of stuck in my double crochet that I just made. Alright, now you're going to continue a pattern around, which is skip a stitch, and then you're going to make that V stitch in the next one. So the V stitch is first skip a stitch, and then you're going to do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet, all in the same stitch. So see how it turned, oops, pulling that a little bit. See how it turned out to be a little V of double crochet here? You're going to do that again, skip a stitch, make the V in the next one. So I'm going to do a double crochet, chain, and a double crochet, all in the same stitch. Doing it again, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain, double crochet, all in the same stitch, skip a stitch, double crochet, chain, double crochet, all in the same stitch. And do that all the way around. And when you finish going all the way around, what you're going to do is join with a slip stitch to that first chain 1 space, like so. All right, and you're going to start on, excuse me, let me back up here. So you've just finished the 3rd round, which is this light pink round, and you're going to keep going. So for round 4, start with a chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 chains, and in that first chain 1 space here, this one right in front of it, you're going to do a double crochet, and then in the next chain 1 space, you're going to do the V stitch, which is a double crochet, chain, double crochet. So let's do that again. Find the next chain 1 space, So you see here, it's going to be that V. Here's the next V. Up here is that chain 1 space. In that space, insert a double crochet, chain, and a double crochet. Find the next chain 1 space right in here. Double crochet, chain, double crochet. Find the next chain 1 space and make that same V stitch with a double crochet, chain, double crochet. Alright, pretty easy, right? So what you're going to do is you're actually going to go around and do that for, for the rest of round 4 and go all the way to round 7, repeating this stitch. In each chain 1 space, you're going to make this double crochet, chain, double crochet V stitch. So I'm going to go through and do that right now, and let's meet at the end of round 7 for something a little different in round 8. Alright, so I just went up to row 7 here, which is what the pattern calls for, but if you want to make this a longer pouch, feel free to add additional rows just repeating row 4 again, which repeats this main body portion of the pouch. But if you'd like to stop here for a standard block of, or for your pouch to fit a standard block of soap, feel free to just stop here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attach the contrast color again to make the top of this pouch. So I'm going to back up a little here to attach the pink yarn, the dark pink yarn. Here I had a slip stitch on the top to finish that up. And as I mentioned earlier, when I change colors, I have the habit of weaving in my ends through crocheting instead of going back and sewing it, because I find it so much easier and more convenient this way. So I tie my yarns together, snip off what I don't need, and start on the next round. So for round 7, what you're going to do, for round 8, what you're going to do is start off with a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And instead of doing a V stitch in all of the chain 1 spaces right here, you're just going to do double crochet increases. So since this counts as our first chain, since our first chains count as our double crochet, I'm going to insert one more double crochet in this space and tuck in my yarn tails while I do that. Like so. Then I'm going to skip over to the next chain 1 space. See the V? There's my next chain 1 space on the top. And I'm going to do a double crochet increase there as well. So that means 2 double crochets in that same spot. Here. 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and find the next one here. And again, I'm going to have to trim these yarn ends later. They're a little long for this top part. Find the next chain 1 space, double crochet increase, 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 space, 2 double crochets in the next one again, and basically all the way around. So I'm going to do that quickly now. Alright, there you have it. So now that you've gone all the way around, you're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. Oops. Let me find the top of that chain and a slip stitch to join. All right. Now for round 9, you're going to skip the first 2 stitches, and what you're going to do is put 5 double crochets between the first double crochet increase gap. So you see how this is one increase and here's another increase? Here's the gap in between, and I'm going to put 5 double crochets right in here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that makes, as you'll see, a lovely kind of shell, kind of a nice bump there. And you're going to slip stitch in that next double crochet increase gap. So here's my next double crochet increase gap. The gap basically means if you're having trouble figuring out what that is, you have to look at the double crochet increases we made in the previous round. Here's one, here's another, and there's another. The gap is that space right in between. So in this next gap, I'm going to do a slip stitch. And I see that there are the yarn ends there from the last round, so I'm gonna take this opportunity and slip stitch over them so that they're stuck in there. Okay, and then find the next gap. So I've slip stitched in this gap. In that next gap, I'm going to insert 5 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the next gap, a slip stitch. In the next gap, 5 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the gap after this, a slip stitch around here. In the next gap, 5 double crochets. And you're going to repeat this all the way around, and you should end up with 6 of these shells when you finish round 9. Alright, and you're going to slip stitch to join right in that next gap, and you're going to fasten off there. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut my yarn. I'll be getting a smaller hook or a yarn needle later on to kind of weave those ends in. And there you have it. There's the main body of the pouch. As you can see, this is the back side where you can see a little bit of that seam. Here's the front side. We'll weave in the ends and it'll look something like this. Alright, and next, to finish off, I'm going to actually you can get a string and go ahead and weave in the ends so that we can get a little cinch going on. And to do that, I'm going to, one method is to do a chain. You can also do an I-cord if you want. I do have a video tutorial for how to make an I-cord if you want a cord that's a little thicker and more sturdy. But I think a chain is definitely sturdy enough for this one. So I'm going to start off with actually a slightly longer tail so it's easier for tying. And I'm going to go make a chain here. You can make your chain as long as you'd like it to be. I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $20. 30. 40. Let's see how long that's looking so far. I've got 40 chains currently. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more. $50. And I'm kind of thinking 50 would be a good number of chains for this baggie. Okay. So I'm going to stop here at 50 chains, and I'm going to cut my yarn so that I have a bit of tail to work with. Just holding it here. I want to see how long I want my yarn tail to be. I want it to be the same as my other end. So I cut that. There. Alright, so they're roughly the same. What I'm going to do at this point is cinch it on. So take this part, and you're actually going to take your string, and you're going to weave it, alternating over and under these double crochet increases in the gaps that you made in row 8. So I'm going to string it in row 8. Let me see. Let me just go in and out and in and out. And maybe easier with a hook. In and out here. In and out there. Pull that through a little. Alright, so when you come to the end there, you'll see that I stopped over here, and you can go ahead and loosen your pouch, and you can also scrunch it up by pulling on it like so. So your little soap can fit right inside there. Open it up, put your soap in, and you can scrunch it shut. What I'm going to do here to finish up though is take both of these long yarn tail ends, and I'm actually going to tie a knot. So I'm going to take that, loop around to a knot. There we are. All right, so there you have it. All I need to do now is fasten in or weave in my ends really. But there's the cute little and quick and easy soap holder pouch that you can use to give as a cute little handmade gift, or check out the other items in my spa set, which would also be great to add to this collection. And hope you enjoy making this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day crafting. Have a good one now. Bye.